Hi there, I'm Nick Miller, and this is a brand new episode of Electric You, a channel dedicated to providing you with exciting ideas you can use to generate a better and truly electrifying version of yourself. Okay. Many of you might be thinking about cutting back on the amount of sugar you're consuming, but that can be tricky on a few different levels. First, sugary treats are delicious, and for most of us, we feel great when we're eating something sweet. Also, we tend to think that added sugar is mainly found in things like candy, baked goods, and fountain drinks, but surprisingly, it's also found in foods we wouldn't think about, such as lunch meats or even pasta sauce. To add to the problem, there are some foods marketed as natural or healthy, but we have to look closely at the ingredients in these foods too, because some of them also have added sugar. The sad truth is that manufacturers add sugar to about 75% of packaged foods sold in supermarkets. So even if you skip dessert, you still may be consuming more sugar than is recommended. A couple of years ago, I made the decision to drastically cut back on the amount of sugar I was consuming. And throughout my journey, I learned some things about sugar I'd like to share with you. This is the first of a series of videos in which I will provide you with valuable information about sugar, explain why you should be concerned about your sugar consumption, and give you ideas on how to kick the sugar high. Let me first start by clarifying something important. Sugar occurs naturally in all foods that contain carbohydrates, such as fruits, vegetables, grains, and dairy. In general, consuming whole foods that contain natural sugar is okay. What we want to be concerned with is added sugar. This is the practice in which manufacturers add additional forms of sugar to food products. Take a look now at which food products make up the total added sugar the average person consumes as identified by the Center for Disease Control in its 2005-2006 National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. Soda, energy drinks, and sports drinks top the list at 42%. Next, at about 12%, are things like cakes and cookies. Fruit juices, like orange juice, account for about 8 to 9%. Next is ice cream and other dairy desserts at 5 to 6%. Candy contributes another 5%. Actual sugar and honey we might add to coffee adds another 4%. Sweetened teas account for about 4% as well. Ready-to-eat cereals account for about 3%. Even breads contribute to our sugar intake at 2%. And finally, syrups and other toppings contribute just over 1% of the total sugar the average person consumes. The next bit of information I'd like to share is the many forms of sugar that may be on a packaged food item's ingredient list. My suggestion is not to rely solely on the nutrition facts label, which may or may not include the listing for added sugar. Some of these forms of added sugar may seem familiar, but others may not be. As a general rule of thumb, look for words ending in "ose," such as fructose, dextrose, and maltose, and look for syrups and juices. The key here is to be consistent in reading the ingredient list on food labels. At this point, you've received some valuable information about added sugar, but we are just getting started. If you've enjoyed the content, please click the thumbs up icon below. Coming up in part 2 of this video series, we will explain why you should be concerned about your added sugar consumption. So hit the subscribe and notification buttons to make sure you know right away when new videos post. I'd also really love to receive your comments. Thanks again for watching.